Sippers, sippets, welcome back to another episode of Pour Your Own Problems. I am your host, Mercy. And today we want to get off into the ongoing case of the 16 children that were found in Ohio. We're hearing conflicted stories of how this happened, how it progressed. Is the mother of the 16 children, is she really the mother of the 16 children? Was this abuse happening equally with all four people that are being charged, or is the mother a victim? We're going to review. I give you my analysis in the end. And as always, sippers, sippets, whatever in your cup, remember, pour your own problems. I can't do it for you. Let's start the show.
Hey, boss, he ain't working.
Stuff of nightmares allegedly hidden behind the doors of this simple Ohio home.
This is pure evil. What we saw down here today is pure evil.
16 children ranging from 18 months to 18 years old were pulled out of what authorities are calling a house of horrors, conditions inside described as deplorable.
Our livestock was kept in better conditions than the children.
4 adults arrested, now charged.
All of those counts are felonies of the second degree.
73-year-old Gary Siders and his 36-year-old son appeared together on camera for their arraignment today.
We'll be right with you.
Then 67-year-old Christina Siders and 33-year-old Elizabeth Siders appeared by video, sitting side by side.
Grandma, grandpa, father, and mother at this point. That's what we know.
All 4 adults charged with 16 counts of endangering children and being held on $300,000 bond each. They all pled not guilty.
The Siders are facing anywhere from 16 to 128 years in prison.
The house is located in the small village of Hamden, part of Ohio's rural southeastern Appalachian region.
There isn't much evidence that kids live there. I didn't actually go into the room where the kids were. I just looked through the door. That was yesterday. I can still smell. I can't get the smell.
The children were kept in a roughly 12 by 12 area. It seems like it's where they've spent the most of the last 4 years.
The big question for me as a defense attorney, who's going to talk first? Someone's going to point the finger at someone.
It's horrific. That's just nasty. It's horrific, really is.
Neighbors are surprised and shaken that this situation could have been happening with no one noticing.
And I prayed a whole lot that that all them kids get better.
Several of the children are in serious condition. 2 of the children had to be care flighted to level 1 trauma centers.
The 16 children were initially checked out. Some were taken to hospitals across the state, where they will likely remain for a while.
I think if they would have waited another 24 hours, there was a very high probability that we'd be dealing with a death or multiple deaths of these children.
And so a few questions that we have to ask ourselves with these children being in deplorable conditions. Are they all related? Or is it incest going on in this household? Because for the mother to have 16 children, not saying that it can't be done, but we got to find out, we got to really get down to the nitty and gritty and find out what has actually transpired within their household. Another thing that I want to discuss is, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you're black or white. We can see poverty everywhere. We for the most part, we like to see and look at things from a city perspective, for as how we see the inner city. And when I'm talking about black people, when we see the inner city, we talk about the poverty and the people stricken, but also we got to look at when we see things like this, it's white people that's poor out there. So any of my followers, anybody that's looking at this, these things don't just happen in the hood. These things just don't happen in your inner city. These rural areas where people live, no matter where they are, no matter if they're on the East Coast, West Coast, the South, all of this goes on. And poverty is poverty. It doesn't matter how you look. It doesn't matter what color you may be. Poverty is poverty. And I think that we got to look at what poverty breeds and what evil breeds. When we finally look at that and take race out of the context of it all, we can see that this world is made up of a lot of evil people and a lot of things go unchecked all the time. And I think that's where we need to, I think that's where we need, our hearts need to be at, to understand what is actually going on in this world. Because at the end of the day, these children come first. But now let's review a few more videos of how the house looked and the alleged backstory of the mother. Let's review.
That's the door. Yeah, that's the door it goes down to. You can see it looks like there is a basement to this home. That looks to be a door or a window. I'm not crossing the police tape here, so I can't get closer. We had some of our reporters look at housing records today, and this was classified as a one-bathroom home. Now, this debris on the front lawn was actually inside the house. That is what authorities had to remove to be able to continue their investigation to get inside, we're told. There are also 2 cars on the property. As you can also see, there aren't really next door neighbors. There's this huge ravine area that's grassy, and then several yards ahead, there are 2 trailers. There's one other log cabin, and then you got to go keep going down the road. There's one other house. But neighbors tell me this street, it leads to a dead end, so it's just not really visited. They said it's not a street you would just drive down if you were driving through Hamden. But again, this is the house. And you can see a little bit inside.
Amazing.
You can also, you get whiffs of the smell as you walk by. Yeah, it starts to smell like feces as you walk by and the wind blows.
This chick Elizabeth on the end is a victim as well. She apparently is the mother of all of these children, every single one of these children that were taken from the home. She has been pregnant since she was 13 years old. She lived in a mobile home park when she was a kid. And this guy here, 3 years older than her, Gary, she started seeing him. And her parents initially did not want her to see him. They tried to get the police involved. And she threatened her parents and said, if you don't let me see him, we're going to move. We're going to go to West Virginia. We'll get married, blah, blah, blah. Parents signed over her rights, letting her live with Gary and Gary's fucked up father. The floor in this 12 by 12 room where they were keeping all of these children was so saturated with feces and urine that they were almost falling through the floor. And they only went there yesterday because there was an indecent exposure charge filed against Gary Jr. A lot of people are saying that, you know, how come no one in the town reported? The town only has like 1,000 or 2,000 people in it. It's a very small town. These kids were never seen. They have been living in this house of horrors since they were born. They don't know how to speak mathematics or reading or anything. They're like wild animals. But I think that she was a victim too. Her own parents gave her up at 13 and signed over the rights and basically said, yeah, you want to go live with this family? Go ahead. This reminds me of the Tarpon family in California. Remember where all those kids were found? Ranging from really young to 29 years old, and they had never even been outside the house. The neighbors didn't even know they were living in this house. I can't imagine a child living in this kind of squalor. This is only one case. And you don't know what goes on in people's houses. This could be in any community. The Gary Sr. looks like a freaking monster.
I look at this whole situation and I think that we honestly gotta wait till a lot of things, more details and situations unfold because we need answers. The world needs answers for these children. Like, understand people are calling the mother, but was she a abuser or a victim? And in my opinion, I believe you can perceive her as both. Based upon the information that we have thus far, we gotta stop with we gotta stop at the beginning, right? We're talking about the children. When it comes down to the children, I don't care what nobody say. I don't want to hear it. We're gonna stop at the conditions and how the children look and work. As law enforcement said, these children were in deplorable conditions. And I think that's where we got to stop it at. Yeah, we can look into, was the mother a victim? And truthfully, I believe she is a victim. If based upon the reports that she was 13 when she got pregnant by Mr. Gary and he was like 18 and so forth and so on, and her family allowed her to leave with another family, it's crazy and asinine. It doesn't even make sense. And I truthfully believe that her her family needs to be held accountable. Her parents need to be held accountable if that true, right? But we can't put the wagon before the horse, right? We gotta call it for what we see thus far, and that those children are more important than she is at this point. She's 32, 33 years old. So I understand what people are saying, that she, when it come down to indoctrinated, she's indoctrinated. She was just a child. Granted, that is true. But we're talking about the children now. You got children that are from 18 months to 18 years old, can't read or write or even say their own name. Don't, like, come on. Living in feces, living in one room, and it's been going on undetected for this long. I think we got a bigger issue at hand than working back and thinking about what the mother has went through. Granted, not taking away nothing from what the mother has went through, but again, we have to evaluate the children first. The children come first. The children come first. So when I see people on the fence, or we're discussing or giving sympathy for the mother, it's not that I don't want to give her sympathy, and it's not that I won't give her sympathy, because I'm giving her sympathy. But when it come down to the children, I don't want to hear anything. I don't know if y'all like me, sippers, sippets, but I don't want to hear anything, because those children come first and they ain't have to be here. If based upon some of the reports and some things that people have said, that she rebelled against her parents' wishes and was going to leave with this man regardless, hey, all that, we have to take all of that into consideration and account. Is it right? No, no shape or form is it right. But again, we're talking about 16 children being in harsh animalistic conditions, worse than animal conditions. So I'm gonna try to keep updated on this story, but I truly believe that people focus is warped, because we don't want to think that a mother, bottom line, we don't want to think that a mother would put their children through these type of situations. And we got to be mature enough to understand that we know this world that we live in, people do crazy things each and every day. I'm not saying that she's an accomplice, and I'm not saying that she's not an accomplice. I'm not saying that she's an abuser, but I'm not saying that she's not a victim neither. Two things can be true at the same time. And I think we got to just call a spade when we see it. Regardless of the matter, they put all 4 of those adults put these children in harm's way. They didn't do the job of parents and grandparents to make sure that their children was well taken care of and not be in deplorable conditions. And that's what I'm going to leave it at today. We're going to continue to follow up and see what evidence presents, find out more background on the mother. But I truly believe at this point in time, it's a toss-up. You can call the mother a victim, you can call her an abuser. Somewhere in the middle is the truth. But sippers, sippets, y'all tell me how y'all feel in the comments. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It's your boy Mercy. I'm out.